Mike Franklin, the property tax guy. Today, I'm going to talk about the Heppner decision, which is which pertains to your artificial intelligence searches being discoverable in court, and what the ramifications are. I know a lot of people have complained about flock cameras and the ramifications of them. There's just we're living in a fishbowl, and they're watching everything that we're doing. And I don't really have that much concern about flock cameras. What I have a concern about is the people who administer them and whether or not there's adequate protections to make certain they're being used properly. And frankly, I don't trust the cops to be able to use them properly. There has to be audit capabilities in there to make certain it's used properly. As far as making your AI search is discoverable in court, I guess, you really don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy when you're using a public service is what the case talks about. And so I just think it's important for people to be aware that anything that they search within, ChatGPT or Grok or Claude or whatever, is discoverable. And what are the the ramifications for you. The Heppner case pertained to a guy who was doing some securities fraud apparently, and he was doing his own legal research, and well, later on he reviewed it with his attorney, but it's not privileged unless the attorney advises you to do it. Don't take legal advice from me about what exactly is discoverable and what's not, but just be aware that it can be an issue. I personally don't care about my legal researches, for my cases, because I think it'll only help my case if they were to, yeah, bring it on. Let's all take a look at it. And so I don't have an issue with it, but I don't know. I suppose that they can pick apart some of the things that you're doing, maybe late at night, maybe you're drinking a couple of beers, and you say search out some ridiculous things, and they can use it to embarrass you, I suppose. But I'm just trying to think. You don't even remember what it is that you searched on AI, so you can't even anticipate what it is that they might find if they did, look through all, with a fine-tooth comb through everything that you ever searched on AI. I'm going to have to think about it moving forward. But anyway, the important thing is to be aware that you don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy when you're interacting with public AI. And there may be options for doing private AIs to do this kind of a thing. It's if you're doing this, maybe you need to have a private AI somehow. I'm not certain exactly how you would do that, and I don't care enough to look into it, because I don't care. They can look at everything that I've searched as far as I'm concerned. But that might not be the case for everybody. When you have corporation matters, serious business ramifications. In my cases, which are usually Article 78, there's no discovery anyway, so it doesn't make any difference there. But anyway, I just thought people should be aware of everything that they're typing in AI is discoverable. So just keep it in mind that it's a possibility. This is Mike Franklin, the property tax guy.